So everybody, I'm just very excited. I got my Brady's bait box subscription. I just wanted to go through it. Brady and I just got to do fishing a Lake Tawakoni and doing a great video out there on the stripers. First of all, the thing you notice is when you open up a Brady's bait box, you get a list of all the baits and their value and how much the total value is, and then what you get. So we basically saved $8.22 on this box of baits. On this side, he always has these great knots. As a matter of fact, Debbie and I, we keep, every month, we keep these cards because they've got a knot we may want to have, learn how to use. So it's pretty cool. And then also, he always has a scripture at the end of, at the bottom of it. It says, this one says, don't remember the prior things, don't ponder ancient history. Look, I'm doing a new thing. Now it sprouts up. Don't you recognize it? I'm making a way in the desert, paths in the wilderness. Isaiah 43:16 through 19, 18 to 19. But it's pretty amazing. He's got a Facebook page, a Instagram page, and a YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is pretty cool. I really enjoy watching it myself. But the fact that he tells you what they're particularly used for and gives you a description is really, really cool. And the first thing that we're going to look at is the Rainbow Lightning Spoon. I think this spoon would be a great addition. I mean, you can use it several different ways, but I'm telling you right now, in the fall or in the summer when the sand bass are schooling on top, I could see this being a really great bait. It would be a little heavy to troll behind the Hellbender for sand bass and hybrids, but I think if the fish are busting on top, especially with a two-tone chartreuse and silver, it would do really well. Plus, this is actually made right here in Colorado, so I think that's a good thing. I like stuff that's made in the United States, and I think this spoon would work great for stripers, hybrids, and sand bass. So that's the first item. And again, this is the August box. And the next thing that we have is the little Fire Tiger Glow Acme. Wait a second here. No, it's the Acme Castmaster. And it's a small spoon with a rattle in it. And I'm thinking, even if you didn't want to use the hook on there, this would be a great addition, an inline rattle for like if you're using live shrimp or you're using a live croaker in salt water, or if you just want to have a little light bait to maybe put down in front of crappie at night. It glows in the dark, so I don't see it's UV resistant, so it's not going to wear out however you use it. And it's actually two color too. You can see the other color on the back is kind of a green Fire Tiger. So again, if nothing else, this would make a great inline rattle for shrimp or croaker, things like that in saltwater and in freshwater too. If you had a big live shad, you could probably put this in line with that shad, and it would attract fish from all over with that sound, and then also the fact it glows in the dark. And I'm presenting a lot of these baits from my perspective as a fishing guide for stripers, hybrids, and sand bass, how I would use them and how best I feel like they would work. But again, something like this is make a great small inline rattle for any type of bait fishing that you're doing. And next, we have the Blaze Lures Live Wire Shad, which is this one right here. And it's got a lot of the holographic imaging on there. It looks like a shad. It's got actually even got the yellow tail of a threadfin shad. And I would probably either troll these, put them maybe on an umbrella rig, but it would work really, really well. I think, again, for stripers, hybrids, sand bass, any of those fish that I generally fish for, I'm sure it would catch them. Especially, you know, I love that yellow tail there. That yellow tail is something that if I have a swim bait that doesn't have it on there, I'll put it on there with the glow dip. So that right there already is a winner in my book, just because of the fact that it has the yellow tail, and it also has a red image there too. I mean, a lot of times fish will strike something red because it looks like the gill plate or the gills on their bait fish that they're feeding on. So that bait right there would work really, really well for, again, for the stripers, sand bass, and hybrids that I fish for. And next, we have the Jed Welsh Curly Tails. Now, this would be typically a largemouth bait. It might work really well for anything, actually probably walleye up north. It has kind of a leech color to it. It also would work great for largemouth bass, but sometimes, especially in the summertime, and the shad, if there's a hot water shad die off, lots of times hybrid stripers will feed on bluegill, and I've actually cleaned large sand bass that had bluegill in them. So just because it's not necessarily a color that you would think that you would typically throw, that doesn't mean it won't work. That doesn't mean you couldn't adapt it and change it in such a way that it would catch fish for you. Also, a lot of my grubs or my jigs that I fish for stripers and hybrids with, I'll put some type of a trailer on there, and I don't see why this one, especially in the summertime, wouldn't work for stripers, hybrids, and sand bass. So that's another thing that I'm just giving you this perspective again from a striper, hybrid, and sand bass guide. I've used a lot of his lures very successfully that I've gotten in his box to catch fish. And next we have the Snag Proof Minnow. And I think this is going to be a great bait right here. What do you think, hon? Okay, it's a little crankbait. It's a soft plastic bait. It's got a great double hook on either side of it. And I think if you're having to throw up in the springtime when the shad are spawning and you have them up in timber and flooded grass and the fish are pushing up there in there with them, I can see how this would work really, really well at that time of year. So, you know, the shad spawn is typically in April, and again, they'll be up in flooded timber, flooded grass, up in there spawning, and the stripers and hybrids they'll be up in there chasing them too. So this is something to think about. And the fact that if I was fishing this and I didn't have to worry about somebody snagging me in the ear, I'd really be happy about that. But that bait right there, that's going to be one of the things that I throw, and I can't wait to try it out in next April and throw it when the fish are spawning up shallow and all that, the shad are spawning up shallow and all that timber. That'll be great. And last, we have something that everybody recognizes as Yum. These little grubs, I can see me actually using these as a trailer on my underspin jig in front of my Hellbender pet spoon, in front of my pet spoon. That little bait right there, I mean, look at that. It's got all that flash and color in it. And again, Brady asked me in this video, why was I going with such small baits? Well, it's because right now, a lot of the sand bass they're schooling and they're prevalent on this spawn of this year. I mean, this is about how big the shad are right now that spawned this spring. So they're going to be all over that. I would definitely put that on a jig head. And sand bass schooling, if you see small shad popping, this is what you want to throw, probably on an 1/8 ounce jig head. And anytime you can have an underspin jig head, which Brady does put those out on occasion in his bait boxes, this would be a great addition to that. So that's going to catch fish. I just want you guys to know that I believe in what Brady does. I love his boxes. Many of his baits I've been able to adapt and use myself for stripers, hybrids, and sand bass as a professional guide, and my clients have caught fish on them. So something to think about. You may want to go ahead and get a subscription. Again, it's $20 a month, but you get anywhere from $8 to $10 worth of value with every time you get it, and you get a hook. I mean, you get a knot of the month. So this looks like a great loop knot. I can't wait to try it myself, and he's just as a great resource, and the verses on their card are great. And again, he actually has a notebook that you can get from him, and you can save these cards, and you can go back and reference them, how to use the baits, what typical presentation you use. You can learn the knot, just all kinds of great stuff. So definitely worth the $20 a month. It has been for me. I have an entire box of quality crankbaits that I got from him over the months, over the last couple years. I've been a member for 2 years, and every single month I've ever got anything, I've been able to catch fish on it. So thank you for watching, and all of Brady's information will be down in the description below, so you can go follow him and see what's next for him. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. We really appreciate your help. And also subscribe. We really need more subscribers so we can give trips away. And lastly, share, so maybe one of your friends will win and take you along with them. Take care.